Hey folks, Bo Cephas here, coming at you on the 23rd of August 2023. T-minus 8 days and counting until Starfield. Wow, it's getting closer. Time's ticking by. Seems to be picking up a little bit, but I'm keeping myself busy with other things. It's been a few days since I put out a Baldur's Gate 3 video, but I got a couple of things in the works for that. But some news is happening with Starfield. Things are picking up. I was putting together one of my videos this morning, and I had Gamescom going in the background when suddenly an interview started with Todd Howard, and I got most of it, and it'll go after I get done with my commentary here. I got an interview with Todd Howard and Pete Hines right after about Starfield. I will let those play through without any comment, let you make your own conclusions, your own judgments about what they have to say. And the live action trailer, wow. I haven't seen a live action trailer like this as good as this in a long time. I mean, hats off to Bethesda and the team over there. They're really going all out, and I made one of my comments on a previous video. It's like my old football coach used to tell us, leave it all out on the field. And I think they've done just that. They have finished up this game. They're looking for it to be a masterpiece. I'm really hyped for it. There's a temperament to my hype, though. I just don't want to be so excited that I got blinders on. But it's hard. It's hard. I really look forward to a game like this for many decades. One thing about that, I'm not going to sit here and overanalyze and superanalyze that live action trailer. Just enjoy it for what it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love everything they did with it. It's a beautiful trailer. The only thing I will say is, you know, when you're working a job and you love what you do, there's an old saying, and it's not really a job. And that guy at the end, after he blew up that ship, really showed that he loves what he does for a living. I don't think he considers what he does a job. But anyway, without further ado, here are the interviews. Like I said, I'll be silent during these interviews so you can take it all in and come up with your own conclusions. I'm not going to sit here and pick apart and analyze every single thing that they say. I'll leave that up to you.
What are fans expecting to see?
We're actually showing everybody the beginning of the game here. It's kind of edited down, but they get to see how it starts, a little bit of character creation, and then they're off on adventure.
Yeah, brilliant. I've seen some of the reactions of people coming out, and it's like
it?
Everyone looks super excited.
All right, good.
Can't wait to see. Also, how's it back home? How are the team holding up with this close to launch?
This is it's tight time. I mean, the game's pretty much done. We're doing a couple final tweaks. There's a lot of things that go into a game of this scale actually launching, but super excited. We love the game. We put so much into it. We just hope everybody out there loves it as well.
Yeah, I know everyone's super excited. And being here at Gamescom, what goes into the preparation for yourselves and the team at Xbox?
Well, you look at this booth, I mean, I don't know, you're asking the wrong person. I look at this and it's just incredible, the scale of everything. I don't think the camera can capture it. I'm kind of blown away. For us, we put a video together. It gets a little bit easier to make videos when the game is just about to come out because things are done. So honestly, our part was easy, super exciting to be here and see the excitement from the fans. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, and you mentioned the booth here is massive, but Starfield itself is one of the largest game undertakings that we've ever seen. What are fans going to expect when they get their hands on the game?
Well, I think, if they played our previous games where you can kind of make the character you want and go do what you want, it's hard to express how big the game feels when you play it. There's a planet. I can really land anywhere. And it is a game, even I will admit, that you sit down, you're like, I'll play for a half hour, and then 3 hours go by, and you're like, what? It's just, I like to say the more that you give to Starfield, the more you put into it, the more it gives back.
Yeah, I'm personally super excited to get my hands on it. Also, I'm going to go and experience the experience for myself. Hopefully security let me, but thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I just hope everybody loves the game.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Pete, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. It must feel good to be back at Gamescom as well.
It is. This is a show I've been to a lot of times and over the years, and it's always a great crowd. It's honestly, it's amazing to bump into fans I recognize, to see folks, and honestly to be back in person. It's something we haven't gotten to do a whole lot of, and as Todd was just saying, you can really feel the energy from the fans, how excited they are, how much they're looking forward to it. It honestly, it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a really special place for that, I think. But so many of the fans that are here today and watching from home are just kind of waited with bated breath for what's to come for Starfield. But these last few days ahead of launch, what do they tend to look like for you and for the rest of the team?
It's in some ways it's probably the most difficult part of a campaign. Because number one, how close it is. Number two, the amount of work that our teams right now, and shout out to all of those folks who are, number one, crushing it, doing an amazing job with the trailer at ONL last night and everything that's been a part of this campaign. They are working so hard. And you're also just sitting here where you've now given the game to a bunch of people, to press, to influencers, and you don't really know what they think or how they're feeling. And so it's a little bit helpless, so we try and focus on the things that we can control, and most of all, we're just so excited for next week and to get this into people's hands.
I mean, I personally kind of love that confidence of being able to hand it off to press and reviewers and influencers fairly early for what most games marketing tends to do. To me, that speaks we love what we've done with this game. It's now time for you guys to really have a go with it.
Yeah, and if I'm being honest, there's really not an amount of time that I'm comfortable enough of now you've played enough Starfield to get what this game is, because I'm at 150, 160 hours on my current playthrough, and I haven't even come close to there is so much stuff I have intentionally not done. It's we try and tell everybody how big this game is, and the folks that are playing it, one of the few things they will tell us is, you weren't kidding how big, I can't believe how big it is. It's content and explore, no matter how you want to play, there is so much for you to do in this game.
You mentioned opening night live, and we'll talk about it in a sec, but I just kind of want to know why it was so important to bring the experience of Starfield that you have to this audience right here at Gamescom.
I mean, for one thing, our games have always done really well in Germany. It's obviously, it's a really well-known PC market, and we obviously came from being an indie PC developer and publisher before we were anything else. But this audience and role-playing games and what they mean in Germany, it's a very popular genre, and across Elder Scrolls and Fallout, Bethesda Game Studios has got a really big following in this territory, and for all the folks who come to Cologne who aren't in Germany. And we just felt this close to launch to try and do something special for them, to sort of surprise and delight, and to just be here and to, take pictures or have a conversation or whatever. We want to make sure that they feel as special as they are to us.
It's cool for me to see that you've got that glass cabinet full of all the different Starfield paraphernalia. We got the Series X console wrap, we got the Constellation Edition watch, and that helps me feel at least we're so tangible. It's it's right there. I can even grab it. We're so close to launch.
Plus, it's really good shopping for birthdays.
Oh yeah.
I want that. I need that.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got the watch on already.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Trust me.
I love the watch. We're really excited both for how good the game is, but the way in which Xbox has supported us with console wraps and the controller and the headset is the best piece of hardware. They are so good. I use them nonstop. Yeah. Full credit to that team. But across Xbox, the way that they have stepped up and supported and amplified Starfield in every way possible has been just awesome to be a part of. We're so pleased for all of the support that they've given us.
You're just helping me dress my entire house in Starfield stuff at this point, so I'm happy enough as it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
We did get to see quite a lot of Starfield. You had a new trailer last night at Opening Night Live. Todd came on stage to chat a bit more about what that opening sequence looks like, that players can expect. But why don't you catch us up more on the news of the day, really, for Starfield?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to say, I am a few weeks away, whatever the number is, 6 or 7, from 24 years at this company. Wow. That is the best trailer we've ever made, and I will have words with anybody who says otherwise. It is my favorite thing. I had absolutely nothing to do with that trailer, full disclosure. That is my team, that is Aaron Losey's team going out and making that happen, and
Get your flowers, guys.
The tone that it hits, the way that it hits that feel of not just what it's like to play the game, but sort of the hopefulness, the lifting others up. I think it's brilliant. But it's not just that. It's, hey, we've got wraps for your Xbox console. Something Xbox has never offered that look really great. We've released a bunch of new wallpapers, desktop wallpapers and phone wallpapers that have been made. We are now in the point. I said last night to the folks after dinner, there is no emergency brake anymore on this launch, folks. We're a go whether we're ready or not. So everybody, make sure your seatbelt is fastened, because this is happening, and it's, there are very few chances. Todd and I try and reinforce this to our respective teams as much as we can. You don't get many opportunities at a game like this. Games of any kind, is a finite number for anybody in development or publishing. But for something like this, for as special as it is, for as long as I've been here, and to see what these different launches are, you can tell when something special is happening. And I think Starfield is that. And I really have tried to emphasize to our teams, amidst all of the hard work, please find time to enjoy this, because you never know when you get another chance to be a part of something as special as this.
Talking about the stewardship that you and Todd have over this team to bring something like Starfield to players out there, and it often gets described as, it's an open world game, but that feels like a bit of a disservice, because it's not just the one world, it's thousands that we can explore, and just sprawling open world experience across a real good portion of the galaxy. I mean, what is it like to actually have to lead a team on such an endeavor as that, where it's grand scale that we've seen and all the detail as well?
Yeah, I mean, as you all have seen, as you've watched how we've talked about Starfield, it really required us to push ourselves in terms of how do you get the rest of the world to wrap its head around a game of this size and scope. I mean, it is literally, it feels when you're playing it almost like there are a bunch of different games inside of one game, and I get to decide how much time I want to spend in a way that you haven't really seen in a Fallout or Skyrim. I mean, those things are still, I can spend all my time just picking flowers in the Elder Scrolls. Yes, you can, but it doesn't feel as wholly different as the entire space game that exists, the entire live on a planet, just the freeform exploration, the combat, which factions taking sides, the player. It's just amazing to see how it all comes together, but explaining that to folks in a way that is digestible. It's how you end up with something like Starfield Direct, which, I mean, it's basically a feature film that we created just to explain to folks and to talk to folks about, not just explain what the game is, but do it in a way that I just thought was really authentic, and hearing from the people making it, how they think about both creating it, how they think about playing it, and seeing the way that resonated with players, I think was really special.
One thing that really grabs me, I think, is the love that's being poured into Radiant Quest systems, and just allowing those new and unique experiences for people to have, no matter where they are in the galaxy, whether they are just flying around in space, whether they are out there just maybe mining some rocks or looking at new fauna, flora, etc. It's a really cool way to involve them in new stories that they perhaps weren't searching for, but now they're being collided into, and it's just juicy. You want to dive.
And then because we made an irresponsibly large game, we take it to another level that I think, and this is one of the things I'm looking for. We've seen it ourselves. I was just talking to a couple of folks from our Benelux office who were they've both played, about the same amount of time, 40 hours or 60 hours, but their experiences were we didn't do any of the same things at all, not even close. And just with that, and then the whole locations aren't the same for every person. What you and I find going to explore this planet, I can't just tell you should go here and land here and find this. That might not be there for you. You get to find and have an experience that truly feels like your own, in a way that I think folks are going to really enjoy and appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, we got a little bite of that in the Starfield Direct, like you mentioned. I mean, Jamie Mallory literally coming out and saying, hold my sandwich, I'm grabbing them all here. And it does speak to that unique way that every player can tackle whatever situation they do come across, or even just back down to character creation. And that's that jumping off point of deciding, here's what I'm going to start off as. I have no idea where that journey is going to take me and how it might change me as a player, me as a character in this game. And it's all really fascinating. But what are the sorts of way that you tend to play it? I mean, I know you've poured in some time now, but look,
when we're in this phase and leading up, I don't I don't play like I would, like, I don't play like I'm about to when I get back home, where like, okay, now I'm going to start like this is Pete's
You got a job to do right now.
Up to this point, it's been Bethesda's character, and sort of the way I've approached it is sort of testing. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been interacting with our players playing Bethesda Game Studio stuff for a long time, so we know how they think. And I talked to Jamie after E3, and she's like, I don't get this. Like, why is this such a thing? And I said, Jamie, what you did is you tapped into the silliness factor that like you sort of tend to forget. Like, you talk about Starfield, and but it's still fun. Like, it's supposed to be about fun, and you put your finger sort of right on the pulse of the kind of nonsense that our players love to get up to, because we make a game that is about freedom, right? Like, we embrace chaos. We give players more freedom than I think in a game like this than people really dare to in their games. Like, that's part of what makes Starfield special. And look, that creates situations that we have to do a lot of work to make sure, like, this doesn't break, this doesn't create problems. But the payoff for that, and like what players are allowed to do, like, wait, I can do this? Like, I can spend all my time doing something as ridiculous as this? Yes, like, if that's what you want the game to be about, that's what you should do. But we want you to go and push and try all of the different ways, because it's really not about like our story or how we want you to play, it's about how you want to play. So when I play, I spend time, like, I'm going to spend a week and not land on a planet. Like, what's it like to just be in outer space, spend all my time in outer space, landing on star stations, derelict ships, doing all this stuff. And then I'll be like, okay, now I'm going to go land in this city, and I want to see how long I can spend not leaving this city. Like, how many factions can I find? How many quests can I do? And I'll get to decision points where it's like, look, you're about to, like, you have to pick a side here, and I'll make a save, and like, I'm going to play this way, and I'm going to go 2 hours down the road just to see, like, how does that feel? And then rewind and play it 2 hours the other direction, just because I want to know, like, what should our players expect? How does this, and just trying to do that in as many ways as possible. Just land on a random planet and just start walking. Like, what's this like? How fun is this? And the more of it you do, the more you find, like, there's 1,000 hours in this version of the game alone. Like, if you don't even touch it, it's crazy. And like, my one piece of advice to folks is, do not ignore your activities. Like, that's almost, it feels like throwaway stuff that the game is giving you. Like, there is some amazing stuff in there that doesn't even feel like a real quest, but like will take you to some amazing places and amazing stories. We encourage you to play this like any BGS game, which is like, do what you want, go where you want, test the game, you know, be the kind of player, the kind of person you want to be in this world, and see what happens.
I get chills thinking about what I'm going to get up to.
It's going to be a lot. We cannot wait to see all the stories and how people choose to express themselves in this game. It's going to be amazing.
I got one more question I just have to ask you.
Okay.
I know you're a fan, but are Arsenal going to win the league?
Yes.
You heard it here. Thanks again, Pete.
Remember,
though, you guys can play Starfield day and date on Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass starting September 6th. But if you can't wait that long like me, early access is going to kick off on August the 31st with the Digital Premium Edition, Digital Premium Upgrade, or the Constellation Edition.